Bible Books Explained, part 50 of 66. Today, we are talking about Queen Esther in the book of Esther. So shout out to the queens. Written around 460 to 350 BC, we see this account following a young orphan girl by the name of Hadassah, who becomes Queen Esther, and it also includes information regarding her cousin Mordecai. The interesting fact about the book of Esther is that it does not mention the Lord once, but we see the Lord's hand moving, and we call that providence or divine intervention. Chapters 1 and 2 set the scene. Queen Vashti, who was married to the king at one point, did not obey the voice of the king. He was in a drunken rage and he demanded that Queen Vashti appear. She refused, so he said, "You're for the streets and I'm gonna look for somebody else." And there was a kingdom-wide beauty pageant. And then enter Hadassah, who then becomes Esther, Queen Esther. Also included in chapter 2 is Mordecai, where he's mentioned as saving the king from a plot to have him leave this plane of existence, if I could say it that way. Chapters 3 and 4 concerning Haman, who was promoted to the highest rank in the kingdom and demanded that everyone bowed, but Mordecai said, "Nah, my knees and my neck don't bend and I have trouble kissing rings." So Haman was like, "Oh yeah, well, it's up and it's stuck. I want everybody that is like you." So he went after the Jews. This is where Queen Esther ended up in a precarious situation. "For if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish, and who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this." This is where we actually get an Esther fast, where if you need God to move on a situation in a desperate manner, most people employ what Queen Esther did in chapter 4 at the end. Chapters 5 to chapter 7 get real juicy. Queen Esther appears before the king without being summoned, and the king accepts her. She wants to do a banquet for the king and also for Haman. And then from there, the king could not sleep for some reason. So the books were opened and he saw that Mordecai saved his life, but he was not honored. So the honor came back to him. And then Haman, the one that got into it with Mordecai, had to be the one to parade him around. Go figure. I know Haman just loved that. Queen Esther invited the king and Haman to a second banquet, and this is where she laid all of the royal flush down on the table, saying, "Haman is gunning for my people." And then the king said, "You're gunning for my queen." So Haman and everybody that he loved, his family, all of that, taken from this plane of existence. God is not unjust. He won't forget your labor of love. He will cause the blessing to overtake you and favor to meet you when you need it the most.